Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here from my channel Nintendo Collecting. This time around I'm bringing you an update to a video I made in 2012. This is a pricing and rarity guide for the Nintendo 64 console. Now I must first tell you that I think as collectors we've only found 16 different boxed variations of the console. There was a 17th prototype that was sold for an incredible amount of money. But all the other variations that we have found or that I have seen have just been boxed variations, like a GoldenEye set, a Pokemon set, or maybe just an extra controller like an Extreme Green controller or an Atomic Purple controller. So before you go and write in all the comments, oh, you're missing this console, just have a look at it, make sure it's not just a boxed variation, because there are a lot of them out there. But that's not to say, if you do find another Nintendo 64 console that's unique to all of these ones, please comment below. I really want to know about it, because I'm really into collecting these things. They're awesome. If you are not into collecting Nintendo 64 consoles, I highly recommend you consider doing so. The consoles are really fun to collect for because of the 16 different variations. There are so many different variations in each worldwide region, which is really cool, and all the other colors and all the different colors, displaying them looks fantastic in any sort of a room, in my case, in my Nintendo room. So it really does look cool, it really does look awesome. I'm pretty proud of having all 16. I think I was one of the first collectors to have all 16, but there are quite a few of them out there now, and really, it's just kind of cool. I really enjoy doing it. It's my hobby, I love it. So I should tell you in this video, I'm going to be giving you 4 things. The first thing I'll do is I'll go through the rarity of all the consoles, but I must warn you, the rarity is in my own opinion, and that rarity is for all of the boxed consoles, because I think it's much harder to find the consoles in the boxes than it is just to find the consoles loose. And in your region, the rarity might be completely different. This is just based on my experience. I've been doing research on this for a few months to make sure that I try and get this right, and make sure I try and do this video justice, and this pricing guide justice for all you guys. I'm doing the best I can, but rarity in your region might be different, so feel free to comment below if you do have any sort of different opinion in terms of rarity or things like that. So the first thing I'll give you the rarity. The second thing, I'll go through all the consoles giving you the loose price. And as I'm doing that, I'll also give you the previous price I thought it was back in 2012. Then I will give you the boxed price, which is usually including the instructions, the console, the controller, and the cords. And the fourth thing I'll do is I'll give you all the prices in terms of a mint console, probably with the baggies, a box in really good shape, and everything coming complete, which you are really excited about as a collector, and that's what we're usually after when we collect. I'll go through all the consoles right now, giving you the rarity of all of them, and I will also tell you what regions all of these consoles were released in, because not all of them were worldwide. The first one, the normal charcoal Nintendo 64 console, this one was released worldwide. I gave that one a rarity of 1. I'm ranking all of the consoles out of a rarity of 10. The higher the number, the more rare it is. The second one is the Jungle Green Nintendo 64 console. That one was released in North America, in Europe, and in Australia. I gave that one a rarity of 2. It was also available in a Donkey Kong set that came out just before the Fantastic series. If you don't know what the Fantastic series is, F-U-N-tastic and Funtastic, which is amazing. And that one includes these 6 consoles right here. There are 6 Fantastic consoles. Great colors, love them. So that one I gave a rarity of 2. The second Fantastic console is the Ice Blue console, and that one again was also released in North America, Europe, and in Australia. I also gave that one a rarity of 2. Slightly more rare than that, in my opinion anyways, is the Fire Orange Nintendo 64 console. Love that color, it's probably the Dutch coming out in me. That one I gave a rarity of 3. Again available, obviously, in North America, Australia, and in Europe. The 5th most common console, in my opinion, is available worldwide, available everywhere, but that one I gave a rarity of 4. For some reason, or whatever reason, whenever I search eBay, it's a little bit harder to find in the box. The 6th most common console is the Smoke Black or Clear Gray console, and this one was also available worldwide. There weren't too many of these that were available worldwide, only 3 of them, only the Smoke, the Grape, and the Charcoal. So those 3 right there are the only 3 available in every single region worldwide that I know of anyways. And the Smoke Black or the Clear Gray, that one I gave a rarity of 5. Then the Watermelon Red. This console also looks fantastic. I love that one. I do believe this is the rarest Fantastic. Whenever I search eBay, it's hard to find. The black one kind of makes sense, or the smoke one, because who would get a black clear console when they can get a nice bright color? I don't think there were too many people interested in the clear black, but I do think that's a really cool console. The Watermelon Red was the last Fantastic box console I got. For me, it was the rarest. I still think it's the rarest Fantastic. That one I also gave, though, a rarity of 5. It wasn't that much more rare to me than the smoke. And that one was available in North America and in Europe, but not Australia, interestingly enough. Then the 8th most common console, pretty much right at the midway point. This is the North American Dark Blue Pikachu set. And that one I gave a rarity, I think, of 6. It was available in North America and in Europe, but nowhere else in that dark blue color. That one's really cool because the Pokeball is actually the power button, and his cheeks light up when you turn the console on. They flash a bit, and then they go on and they stay on, which is really cool. The other side of the middle is the next rarest console, or the next more rare console. That's the blue and white clear console. That one's available in both Japan, you are seeing the Japanese box, but it was also available in Europe as a Mario set of some sort, which is a pretty cool set actually. If you're in Europe, try and check that one out. That one I gave a rarity of 6, and the Pokemon one I also gave a rarity of 6, so those two were 6. The next one, the clear red and white, so that one's white on the bottom. That one was only released in Japan, so I called it a little bit more rare. That one I gave a rarity of 7. Also getting a rarity of 7 is the Japanese light blue Pikachu console, again with the Pokeball as a power button and the cheeks lighting up. That one, rarity of 7 as well, as I said. The counterpart to that is the orange Pikachu set. The last awesome, same footprint as these three, but all three of these actually have a different footprint than the regular other Nintendo 64 consoles. These ones are a little bit longer, which I guess is just to accommodate putting a massive Pikachu on the console. So that orange one, I also gave a rarity of 7. These two are both exclusive to Japan. Now, in my opinion, the 4th rarest console is the Pokemon Battle set, or the Pokemon Stadium Battle set. The only reason probably, though, for me that this is so rare is because I don't live in Europe. I don't live in Australia where this was available. So if you live there, tell me where you would rank that console out of the 16. You might change that place entirely. So that one I gave a rarity of 8. The 3rd rarest console, which took a huge jump up from last time because this time around I was ranking them in terms of getting them in the box complete, is the gold console. And this gold one was only available in North America and in Japan. Clearly, if they're available in less regions, they're usually a bit more rare. The pink, or the clear red and white, was actually not that rare for me. I can find them pretty commonly on eBay, and I've been doing a lot of research for this video. But the gold, especially this gold one, the gold one with 2 controllers from Toys R Us in North America, so hard to find in the box and selling for an incredible amount of money. So I gave that one a rarity of 8, and the 3rd most rare console this time around, especially in the box. The 2nd most rare console, and personally my favorite, the Dai-A Hawks. This one was only released in Dai-A Hawks stores. I pray I'm actually pronouncing that correctly for once. As a Canadian, I should be saying A correctly, and I'm told that's how you pronounce it. Dai-A. That one is orange on the top, clear black on the bottom, very dark black. The black is definitely different than the smoke. The orange is definitely different than the fire orange. And that one is incredibly rare. I gave that one a rarity of 9. The 2nd most rare Nintendo 64 console, only available in Japan. And the rarest Nintendo 64 console, the Jusco 30th Anniversary console. That one is a dark, clear, black on top that is slightly different than the gray. You need a well-trained eye to see how it is different, but it is, I can guarantee you, it's slightly different. And that one has a bottom that is white. That's the same white as those 2 consoles there from Japan as well. Japanese exclusive, the only console I am giving a rarity of 10. So first of all, before I get into all the pricing, comment below, let me know what you think about the different rarities, and let me know what you think in your region. Would it be any different? Because I'm sure everyone would have a different opinion, and it's kind of fun to throw those opinions around and kind of compare with other people. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up my camera, I'm going to take a closer look at all the consoles and go there with you, and I'm going to give you prices for the loose, the complete, and the mint. But I'm also going to try and mention that there are so many different boxed variations out there. So, speaking of box different variations, the charcoal black console, which is the most common, was clearly available worldwide. Here is what it looks like in Japan. I have all 10 boxed consoles from Japan, and there's what it looks like with a different controller, the Atomic Purple controller. It was also available with an Extreme Green controller. It was available with different sets, like a GoldenEye set and things like that. It was also available as a Star Wars set. I have the box brand new right there, which is pretty cool. And there are so many different variations. So if you do have this one, comment below. Let me know what box variation you have of this console. So this time around, loose. Loose will be just the console and the controller and the cords. I said $40, and that's usually if you're trying to find a pretty good deal locally. I would highly recommend trying to find as many consoles as possible locally before you look online. Paying for shipping is just so much money. So I said $40 this time. Previously I said around $25. Complete with the box, I think around $60 you can get it for, especially for a good deal. Last time around though I said $50. Mint, you're probably going to pay $100 for it, maybe a little bit more. Last time around I only said $60 for this one. Moving on to the second most common console. Again, this was released as this Fantastic series or in the Donkey Kong set. I think the Donkey Kong set's a bit more rare. You're probably going to pay a bit more money for that, but it is the identical console. So the loose price, I am saying $50. Last time around I just said $40. The boxed version, I'm saying $120. Last time I just said $90. And the Mint, I more than doubled it. I think Mint people are trying to pay $250 for it. And last time around I just said $120, which is probably on the low end. The third most common console, the Ice Blue Nintendo 64 console. This one, I think loose would probably be around the same price, but maybe a little bit higher. This one, maybe I'd go to $64 if you are just getting the console, the controller, and the cords. Again, try and find these locally. If you're getting it in the box, probably again around $120. Last time around, I said $90, and loose I said $40, which is so low, really. And then if you're looking for it mint, I think around $250 as well. And I really think that's quite a bit of money. So if you're paying for this complete, $120, and if you're paying for it mint, $250, it pretty much doubles if you're paying for it mint. And last time I just said $120 for that one. The Fire Orange, my personal favorite probably from the Fantastic series. Sometimes it switches around which console I'm playing with or gaming with just because they're all so awesome. So this time around, loose, I think maybe $60. I think last time I said $40. Complete, $150. Last time I just said $90. And then mint, probably $260. Last time around I said I think $120 to $130. So about $125 last time. So that's a doubling basically of how much it was worth 2 years ago. It's amazing how the collecting boom has happened, especially in terms of Nintendo 64 consoles. I'll get that glare out of the way a little bit. This next one is the Grape Purple or the Midnight Blue. Now, if you're getting the Grape Purple one, this one I would pay $70 for. Previously, I just said $50. Complete, $150. Last time I just said $100, so that's an increase of $50. And mint, last time I said $130, but this time I'm going to double that and say $260. Now, if you're trying to pick up that version as the Japanese Midnight Blue, the Midnight Blue set is the exact same console, it's the exact same color, but obviously this is a Japanese one, so the games don't actually fit into the console, but the color is the same. If you're looking to buy this one, though, the price of that can probably be north of $300 in the box, which is quite a bit to pay. Moving on to the Smoke version, if you're just getting this one as a loose set, I think you could probably pay $70 for it. Last time I said $55. I think this was actually the last one that I picked up as a loose console, whereas the Watermelon was the last one I picked up for Fantastic as a boxed console. So loose, probably around $70, last time again, $55. Complete, $150, last time it was $100. And then mint, $280, I'm doubling what it was last time of $140. If you're picking up the Japanese version, which is called the Clear Black, sometimes called Clear Gray, I probably referred to it as Clear Gray by mistake a few times, but this one's called Clear Black, it says right there on the box. Again, you're probably paying a lot more money for this one, just because it's hard to find. It might be north of $300, it could be anywhere, it could be all over the place, and this one was sometimes available also with a Nintendo 64 DD set. Moving on to the Watermelon console, just makes my mouth water actually, just makes me hungry to eat some watermelon. This one I'm saying $70, last time I said $50 for the loose console. If you're getting a complete set, I think you're probably going to pay $150, which is similar to the other ones. Last time it was just $100. Again, $280 if you're actually getting it mint in great shape. Last time I said $140 to $150, which is about $145. All US dollars, all approximate. Again, at about the halfway point, the Pikachu Nintendo 64 set from North America for this box. This one does come with a lot of different other goodies inside, which obviously changes the price from loose to complete. Loose, you're probably going to look at $100 for this. It is a really neat item. A lot of people who love Pokemon really want to get this. Last time I just said 60 bucks. Complete, I think if you're getting everything with it and you're really trying to get a complete copy with the instructions, with all those little bonuses and things like that, I think you're going to probably pay for that $180. Last time I just said $110. Mint, probably $250. That's not as much as the Watermelon and the Smoke Black, and probably a few of the other Fantastics, but that's just what I've been seeing it go for. Maybe it's a bit higher than that, but that's my opinion. $250. Last time I said $150. We're halfway done all the prices, and this one we are doing the European and the Japanese clear blue and clear white console. Now, this one is the Japanese one. I don't have the one from Europe, but I do think if you're getting it loose, you could probably pay $60. Last time I also said $60. I think the box really hasn't changed very much in price. I said last time $120. I'm saying $120 again. And then if you're looking to get it mint, maybe a little bit higher than last time. Maybe 260. No, not 200. Maybe 160. Last time I said 140. Again, its counterpart, the clear red and clear white. If you're going to pick this one up loose, it's only from Japan, so you have to import it if you're anywhere other than Japan. And that one is probably $70. Last time it was also $70. Boxed, $120. It was $120 last time. But mint, probably $180 if it's in really good shape. $145 is the price I gave it last time. Now we're into the 6 rarest consoles. Another Pikachu console. This is the light blue one, and this one's only from Japan. The loose price of this one is likely somewhere around $100. Last time I said $80. The boxed version, probably around $160. Last time I said $130. Mint, this time around, I'm going to say $220. But last time I just said about $150 to $160, which was about $155. Now the orange Pikachu console looks amazing, looks outstanding. This console I'm in love with. I really do like it. It kind of reminds me of some sort of a candy, this orange. It looks great. So $120 probably just for the loose console, controller and the cords. Probably around $160 for the boxed set. Last time I said $140 for the complete, and I said $80 for the loose. Mint this time around, $220, but last time I said $170, so that's an increase of $50 for even this one. Usually you can find these Pikachu ones or Pokemon ones on eBay in the box from sellers in Japan. You just have to pay up the wazoo to try and get them to you wherever you are located outside of Japan. Now the 4 rarest consoles in my list anyways. This is the European and the Australian one. So this console is called the Pokemon Battle Set, or the Pokemon Stadium Battle Set. Again, same footprint, but the bottom of the console you can kind of see there, and you can see in the picture, the bottom of the console is yellow, the top is blue. Awesome decals on the side. And this time it has a yellow controller, which is a counterpart to the blue one in North America and in Europe as well for the other one. For the other Pikachu console anyways. So this time around I'm going to say $90 for the loose console. Previously I said $60. I still think it's at about $160 or so for the complete set. Last time it was $160. But for a mint one, I'm going to say $250. This one does come with a videotape you would love to be able to pick up, and that's this boxed version anyways. And last time around, I didn't say $250, I just said $210. The gold Nintendo 64 console, what a lot of people love if you're a fan of Zelda. You would love to play the gold cart for Zelda on this console. This is the Toys R Us version, so again, it's very expensive, I think. But if you're just getting it loose, it's probably around $100. Previously, I said $70. The boxed version is probably around $280 now, which is insane. It was previously at $155. And I think if it's mint, it's selling for $400, sometimes more than that. That's crazy for a console that's so old, from 1998 or so, maybe even a bit later than that. And last time around, I just said $210 for that one. If you're looking to get the Japanese one, though, I think the Japanese one's probably selling for less than $200 in the box. So if you really want to get the console in the box, maybe consider getting the Japanese one. You can actually soft mod it to play your NTSC North American games, which is pretty cool. The second rarest console, and my favorite, this one kind of always makes me smile whenever I see it. Again, the orange is different. The black is clear, but barely clear. Loose price for this one is getting crazy. It's getting $210, $220 probably for this loose. Last time I just said $150. The boxed version though, man, these are so rare, they don't come up very often. You're probably looking to pay over $500 for it boxed. Last time around I just said $300. And that is crazy. If you're looking for it mint though, you might be north of $800. And I say might because these don't sell very often. Last time I didn't even put a price on this, I just put question mark. Let's move on to the rarest Nintendo 64 console, the Jesco 30th Anniversary Console. This one, I think, loose, doesn't sell very often. You can probably find one or two of them on eBay, though, right now. And that one, I think people are probably paying almost $400 for it loose. Previously, I just said half that, $200. Boxed, and I have to tell you, I recently did a trade. So someone contacted me, and they wanted my boxed set because my box set was in really good mint shape. They had a different box set, this one here. I did a swap for them basically, but they threw in a boxed Jesco controller, so I couldn't say no to that. So mine is no longer mint. This one's probably around $700 or more, and that's just estimating it. And previously I just said $325 for a complete set. Mint though, you're over $1,000 now, which is insane. Maybe $1,000 to $1,200 for a mint set. Last time around again, I just put a question mark because I had no idea how much it would usually sell for. Hopefully this pricing guide has been really useful to you. I think there are so many cool consoles that Nintendo has out there and so many different color variations that really makes it a fun thing to collect for. If you didn't know, the Nintendo 64 sold 33 million units, which actually is only a third of what the Wii sold, and yet the Wii had 5 variations and the Nintendo 64 has 16 different variations. If you really liked this pricing guide, make sure to check out my other pricing guides. I'm going to be doing an update for the controllers. I'm also going to give you a controller rarity guide in that video. I will be doing a rarity guide and a pricing guide of the accessories for the Nintendo 64, and I really want to start getting into some other consoles of doing the same kind of thing. But personally, the Nintendo 64 has always been the closest console to my heart. It brings a smile to my face when I see a console, when I see it especially hooked up to any kind of a TV, and that you can actually play and game on it, and all the color variations are really fun to collect for. So I'm very proud to have all 16. Maybe you could consider trying to collect for the Nintendo 64 if you're a fan of Nintendo, and maybe you should try and consider first finding them in your own region. Paying for shipping, and especially getting them to you internationally, is so difficult, but if you're trying to find them in the box, in the wild, I really wish you luck. It's becoming a tremendous difficult adventure to try and do that. Thank you very much for watching my Nintendo 64 pricing and rarity guide. Make sure you fill that like bucket, follow me on Facebook and on Twitter, and as always, link together and go catch 'em all.